I honestly don't know where this video is going. Okay, yeah. Enough with the comments on the picture, okay? My friend Sam put that on there back in the day, and I just left it just as maybe a memento, or I don't know, it was just funny. Okay, so anyway, long and short of the story is what we're doing today is messing around with a USB to serial adapter. This one is a TrendNet TU-S8, it looks like. I don't know anything about it. It's set up on here, and this mess over here, I'll show you what this setup was. First, let me just explain here. This is my old Acer netbook. I bought this when netbooks were popular. It has Windows XP, and it came with it. And no, I didn't do an Isaac 24 and smash it, because the machine isn't a piece of shit, because I don't know what I'm doing. The machine, as well as Isaac 24's machine, was fine. With that out of the way, I haven't booted this thing up in, 4 years? I don't even know at this point. There were 4 or 5 different software programs I don't even use anymore that I uninstalled from this. I was pretty amazed that A, it actually even turned on, and the red light here, if it shows, I don't think it does, means the battery is allegedly charging. I know the battery wasn't lasting all that long. This mess here is a bomb. It's a circuit board with an EEPROM in it, and it has a serial connection. This is the cable is a 9-pin to 25-pin, because this came with a DB25, but the other end of the cable is a DE9, because that's what most equipment uses, and that is what this USB to serial adapter uses, is a DE9 also. On this end, it says OBD2, and I'll take the cable off because I think it's like a DE15 connector, if I recall. It's been many, many years. Nope, it's actually a DE9. Another 9-pin job, but you can't plug this right into the serial adapter, USB to serial adapter, or a serial port, because the other end of this cable is, as the printing on the plastic covering the circuit board states, is OBD2, which as soon as I get that back screwed in there, you will see is an OBD2 connector. And I used to use this with old Clanky, my old car, and with the Whiff's car. And I had this program called Digimoto, which I have 3 different versions of. My dad actually bought this adapter years ago, and it's still useful in this regard. I think the program is just going to bomb out because it can't find the serial port, because obviously a netbook wouldn't have a hardware serial port. So there's that. I'll plug it in. I don't know if the program will actually launch or not. We'll try it one more time. I don't know if it will launch. It may not be able to communicate with the computer. It says scanning COM ports and didn't find it. Great. Okay, I don't even know why. But like I said, I haven't used it in many years. All right. The point of this video is that for some reason I found that these USB to serial adapters just don't work very well. Let me launch the latest version of the software. I just want to see if it wants to try to do anything. We'll go to connection and open. Okay, I think something happened. It tried anyway. I just want to make sure that it's showing up on Device Mangler, so we can ensure that we do have a make-believe serial port or something like that. So we'll go here to Device Mangler, and I know you can't really read what's on the screen, but it's actually not that consequential. It shows it is COM3. as a prolific USB to serial adapter, even though it says TrendNet on it. Okay, that's all fine and good. Now, like I said, I've had enormous amounts of trouble with these USB to serial adapters, and I don't really know why. I'm kind of reaching out to anybody who might know what the deal is. They always say that you want to have a computer that has a true hardware serial port, if of course you're going to be using serial devices, and most people don't anymore. There are some specialized applications. So here's the adapter. It's USB to serial. Simple as that. What we're going to try first, I just want to see if any of this is going to work, because this might, and I don't think it will, but it might tie into something. I have a mouse here, I'm just untangling the cord on it, that is a serial mouse. This has made an appearance years ago of whether or not you can still use a serial mouse under Windows 8. I actually had a machine set up with that back in the day. And yes, indeed you can. It's yellowed over the years, and it has a Microsoft or Mouse Systems switch at the bottom there, which is a nice touch. And of course it's a ball mouse, and the other end of it is serial. So what I definitely know from that is, let me just get everything set up. I'm going to plug in the mouse to the USB to serial adapter. And of course you're asking, why the hell would you want to use an old mouse like that that doesn't even have a scroll wheel? That's not the subject. That's not the point. The point is, will it work? Well, the answer is, A, you can't see the screen even if I zoom in on it, and B, no, it doesn't work, because what we learned from that video was that you have to add the mouse manually. So if I go to Device Manager and go to geez, I forget where it was. I don't even remember. I thought it was under, oh, maybe I have to click that first. Yeah, Action, and then Scan for Hardware Changes. Oh! Searching for drivers. It says unknown device. And that just vanished, so I don't even know what the deal is. Oh, it came up. Found new hardware. Let's go under mice and other pointing devices. Microsoft serial mouse. If I move it, oh, it works. Nice. It actually works. Now it's a little jumpy and jittery, but I probably need a like a mouse pad here, because this isn't the greatest surface. I'll try it. Get the cord untangled over here. Maybe, I don't know if it even works like that. Not really. Okay, it works. I can click on stuff. Oh man, it's, yeah, well, I'm supposed to be able to click on stuff. Yeah. We'll see if that actually launches. That'll play the shoutcast just to see if it actually still works. It should, because I believe it's going locally. Yeah, it's opening. Okay, can't have any more music because somebody. So the serial mouse works. So you say, well, what are you talking about with these USB to serial adapters not being any good? It just worked, Jay. Well, I don't know how far I'm going to get into this. In fact, I'm only going to go one further step, and that's it. I have that Curtis digital camera that I had a couple of videos on that we pretty much beat everything to death about with that. And in the second part of that video, we had found that that device will work under Windows 7 and probably 8 and probably 10 under a 32-bit operating system, definitely over serial, but the laptop that I had tested it on, not with a USB to serial adapter, I tried it USB, and I was able to get it working on a 32-bit system, but not a 64-bit system. So I'm kind of out to prove that, will this actually work on a 64-bit system. Now, this netbook obviously is a 32-bit system because that is all that was afforded by the Intel Atom 1.6 gigahertz processor, which I believe this has, and I'll double check. That's if my memory serves. Yeah, 1.6 Intel Atom processor. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the software for the Curtis camera on here, and we're going to load that, and we're going to hook it up via serial over this USB to serial adapter. I have reason to believe it's not going to work. The reason I say that is because when I got that camera, I had it hooked up to my print server, which has a whole bunch of ports. That has parallel ports. It has serial ports. It has USB ports. It's got fucking ports. That thing actually has, through some magic, 12 serial ports. Don't ask me how I did it. That's a feat that I don't think I could possibly ever do again. Anyhow, at least 6 of those ports are true hardware serial ports. Then I think there's another, maybe 8 of them are, and then another 4. I had up to COM12 on there, but some of the USB to serial adapters I had were failing. But this camera and its serial cable that I disconnected was out of a true hardware serial port on that machine. So I don't think it's going to work. Let me get it, let me get the software, and we'll try setting it up and installing it. I'll install the same software, everything I did in those Curtis camera videos, and then we'll try it from there. And I just realized I failed to mention the reason it was most likely plugged into a hardware serial port was because it simply didn't work on a USB to serial adapter. Now, this is dating back, this is a problem I've had for many years, and I've never gotten a true answer to it. There was one guy that used to come into Tiny Middle way back in the day, and I explained the problem to him because he seemed rather computer savvy. And some of these guys were some smarty pants people. This guy he just had an awesome demeanor about him. And I said, yeah, I don't understand exactly what's going on and why it doesn't work on the USB to serial adapter, but it works on a true hardware serial port. And he said, well, that's when you break out the scope. Just like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's okay. It makes a lot of great sense, but I'm not into that stuff. I never had that sort of pedigree as far as electronics and getting into oscilloscopes and all that kind of stuff. I know what they are. I know how to dick around with them a little bit, but other than that, that's really all I knew. So I don't think the camera is actually going to work, but we're going to find out in just a few moments after this software transfers and I install it. Okay, we're almost up to the part where I get to test this now. I have the software installed. Now it's going to install the driver, the serial driver for it, and we've been through this in that other video, and now theoretically it's installed. So that's going to clear out in just a moment. I'll get this cable out of the way. Now we're all there and good. I am curious what will happen. I'm going to try to... Okay, there's 7 pictures. I'm going to plug in the camera. Nothing happens because nothing is supposed to happen. Just to afford the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to go back to Device Manager and have it scan for hardware. Never did this on any of the other systems. I have disconnected the serial mouse. Oh, it disappeared. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking under the wrong thing. Oh, it did disappear. So it noticed that I unplugged that from the serial port, which was interesting. So we're going to go to Action and scan for hardware changes. And I expect nothing is going to happen. In fact, I think the camera fell asleep. Yeah, so we're already off to a bad start. On all of the other systems, when I would have it plugged in, it would go doo-doo-doo and then beep beep to wake back up. So there it woke back up. It says 13 on the display. We're going to go back here to Action and scan for hardware changes once again, just to see. And there is imaging devices. That's for the built-in webcam, which does actually work. Just as a bit of an aside, it shows up actually in my computer. You can launch it, and within a few seconds, there it is. And I'm sort of hiding out there, and the camera's there. This camera fell asleep. So I have a good feeling this is not going to work. So I was using PaintShop Pro with this camera, and oh, it's in here somewhere. Here, PaintShop Pro 6 is fine. I'll wake up the camera for fun. Get rid of that. File, import, Twain, select source, CoolCam, or the built-in webcam. Isn't that something? All right, we'll hit select on CoolCam, and file, import, Twain, acquire. The camera's awake. It just fell asleep. I'll wake it back up. We'll hit get pictures again just in case. It works! It works! Oh my God! I didn't know this worked on a USB to serial adapter. Let's capture all. Oh my God! This is awesome! This might totally denounce the entire premise of this video, and that's a story for another time. But yeah, there it is. It's actually getting the pictures. Now, is the camera going to fall asleep in the middle of the transfer? That might be one of the teething issues that we're going to have. I don't know. I forget how long it takes for the camera to bomb out. But so far I got 3 pictures. And there's the 4th one. And it's happily transferring. On that other system, for some reason, I had this in a hardware serial port. I think the reason was because I couldn't get it to work on a USB to serial adapter, but it's been too many years and too many beers. So I don't know that for an absolute fact. But yeah, here we are. It's getting the pictures. Whoop. Oh, the camera is awake, but it's stalled. The computer is alive. Oh, the camera has been removed. Okay, it got, well, let's hit get pictures again. Okay, it went to sleep and then it woke itself up again. All right, maybe just a glitch in it, no big deal. We'll just capture that last one just to make the complete set. And there we go. So there's all the pictures. They're all pretty much the same because I just snapped whatever's here. And no, whoops, one more time. I didn't exit it. Close. Maybe I have to okay that. I don't know why it's yelling. Okay, good. There. Anyway, it worked. And I captured them, and I didn't save anything, which I didn't need to anyway. Okay. So now, I'm going to get a 64-bit laptop, and we're going to try to install the software for this TrendNet USB to serial adapter and the Curtis camera software and see if we can make it work under 64-bit. So, like I said, I didn't quite know in the beginning where this particular video was going, but this is now the direction it's going. Instead of I can't get devices to work on a USB to serial adapter, it kind of works, and that's good enough for our purposes to see if this Curtis CoolCam will indeed work, at least under serial, under 64-bit. So I'll shut down, switch laptops, and go from there. Alright, rather than wait for the data transfer, in the meantime, what we'll do is we're going to hook up the USB to serial adapter as it were before with the serial mouse, just to ensure functionality. Now I have the drivers already on the machine. I have not installed them. I don't know if we're going to need them. I haven't used this device under Windows 7, but the instructions state that it will work with Windows 7. And now it's going to search for stuff, and I don't know why I'm getting errors on that. I don't really care. We can just skip it. And we have to wait until... Okay, it says installing driver software. USB serial controller D. Ooh! Okay. I don't know what that means, or what a serial controller D is. But maybe it'll actually install. Meantime, I'll launch Device Mangler so we could see, whoopsie, so we can see what it'll actually list as there. That would be nice. We'll get rid of that, and we'll go over here. It's still installing ports. It shows as prolific USB or serial COM port. And it now found an unidentified device, which might be the mouse. So we'll go to mice and other pointing devices. So far, Dell touchpad. Searching Windows Update. While we're waiting, there he goes, installing software while we're waiting, just to prove that this is 64-bit. There it is right there, 64-bit operating system. Okay. And it found a Microsoft serial mouse but failed? Yeah, it doesn't work either. Let's see what it says. Device cannot start. Okay, I don't know why. I'll reboot after this data transfer is done. Okay, I didn't reboot yet. What I did do is I unplugged it, had it scan for new hardware, and then plugged it back in, had it scan for new hardware, and we don't have a bang. And now when I move it, it does indeed move. So we've now proven that the serial port mouse works with the USB to serial adapter. So that means that this USB to serial adapter is working fine as far as that is concerned. I'm going to plug in, we've got a tangle of cables here, plug in the camera wire. There he goes. So that's plugged in now. It's still plugged into the camera. I'll leave Device Manager just for fun. I still have to wait for that data transfer so I could actually install the software. Okay, the data transfer is done. So everything's there. Just to do exactly what I did last time, we're going to go to, first I'll wake up the camera. Beep, beep. Scan for hardware changes. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing happened. Excellent. And now in here we're going to go to Setup, the application, and we have to accept the UAC prompt. And we're going to install the software like I probably did in one of the other videos. Uh-oh. Let's try that. Didn't I do this? Okay. Well, that's a welcome surprise. Okay, so fuck all the software. How about we try just launching the drivers? So in this driver folder, I think was the serial driver. This looks right. We'll install version 1.02. Yes, okay, okay, it's there, and okay, it installed correctly. Yeah, not having high hopes here. Okay, we'll launch Paint Shop Pro. That's in the list here somewhere. I'll wake the camera up again. We'll get rid of that. File, import, Twain, select source. CoolCam. Okay, we got a shot at it. Here we go, 64-bit. Let's see if it's going to work. Can't even get my mouse pointer right. Yes! It works on 64-bit! That's awesome! Totally awesome! Capture all and let it go to town. There we go. It works under Windows 64-bit, but you have to use the serial connection. That's right. Old cameras are never obsolete. Old ports are never obsolete. That's why they make these things. Old thermometers are never obsolete. That has nothing to do with this. It fucking works under a 64-bit OS. So that definitively means that this camera should work under Windows 10 64-bit with a USB to serial adapter. So even the most modern day system, 21 years later, as of the making of this video, can work with this camera. From Windows 95 all the way through Windows 10 64-bit, with some caveats along the way, it will indeed work. No shit. Of course, if you had a hardware serial port, that would make this that much more efficient and that much, sorry for the double superlative, more better in that regard. But yes, it does work, it does run, and I just proved that it works under a 64-bit OS with a USB to serial adapter. That is awesome. As a little bit of a bonus, just because I have the camera rolling, and whoopsies, just because I have the camera rolling and the Twain driver is still there and I forgot to exit it again. And we'll close. I can't even close it now. We got to do this and hit yes. And no, 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 no. Okay. So as a little bit of a bonus, I happen to have some other USB, some other or one other, I'm not sure. Some other, one other, USB to serial adapter with a long cable. Oh, look at the color. Well, not only is it yellowed, but take a look, folks, at the type of cable and kind of what it looks like. Bondi blue. There you go. This, it has a marking. I don't know if this works under Windows 7. Let me get my thing. Sorry for getting in the shot. So I could see if I could read it. WiseTech. It says WiseTech. I don't know if you could even make it out. I don't know what Windows is going to have to say about this, or if Windows is going to like it. Okay, the cable hasn't off-gassed horribly, but it's certainly, the color has yellowed. Even the Bondi blue has. And look, just for, let me unplug this here, just for fun, because we don't need that anymore. this is all the cable you get. This has got all that, and look at the thickness difference in the cable as well. Big difference. Definitely shielded. Does it make it better? No, they just used to build shit good then. Okay, so we're done with that. The Acer netbook, by the way, is now showing a green light. I left it connected just for fun, just to see. And let's go right to Device Manager and have that open. And I don't know if this is supported under Windows 7 or not. We're going to find out right now. Kabunk. Huh? It works? It still says prolific serial adapter. Is it using the same chipset? Is that possible? Well, there's only one way to find out. Being that the camera's here, we'll do that one more time. The cables are not cooperating here. Yeah. That's one of the reasons that we stopped using these. Because when you're trying to fish cables out, these would always hook onto another wire, and yeah. Alright, so we will now plug that in to this thing, which I don't know that I ever had much luck getting to work under Windows XP, but now, you know, Windows 7 and later has much better driver support. We're going to go back to Paint Shop Pro. I'll wake the camera up. And we don't need to really select source, but we'll just, as a matter of practice, yes, that's the one. Oh. What? Why? Oh. Yeah, don't like this one. I don't know. It showed up in Device Manager fine, and then it just gave a disconnect sound. Very, very peculiar, and you definitely wouldn't get that under serial, because the system doesn't know about it. It still shows it's there. It still shows as COM3. And I have a sneaking suspicion they had it automatically pick COM3. Because if you have a system, generally, if it had hardware serial ports, the maximum number of serial ports you'd have is 2. So to avoid potential conflicts, it does COM3. Yeah, screw that. I'm not even worried about closing that now. It woke the camera. Oh, it works! Nice! I don't know what the disconnect sound was, and like I said, with the, you know, if you had a true hardware serial port, you'd be a lot better off. But the original premise of this video was that these USB to serial adapters were a bit squirrely, so to speak. Hooking them up with serial printers was a bear. That was a real bear. And only some I was ever able to get to work over USB to serial, but they would always work on true hardware serial ports. So if anybody knows why these things are weird in that regard, like what is the difference? I know, like I said, that you always want to have a serial, hardware serial port if you're doing it. You know, why is there a difference? How is there a difference? If you have all the right stuff, why can't it just emulate properly? Other people have had similar type experiences with USB to parallel adapters. I never have. I always got those to work. I've had them crap out on me, but I have always gotten USB to parallel adapters to work without any problem or question. So I'd like to know what the difference is, but it's good to know, at least now that I've proven for a fact that this USB to serial adapter works, and as yellowed as it has become over the years, it still works and is still viable, and I'm going to keep it along with that ElmScan OBD2 device just to have it, because, well, you never do know when you might need a serial port. There we go. So we're all done. I don't need these anymore, so we'll delete them. And that's going to wrap this up. So we have proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that this Curtis camera that nobody wanted to buy in the first place is still compatible with today's systems, even under 64-bit, but you can't use USB. Gotta be serial. But hey, at least we have a USB to serial adapter that has the slightly yellowed Bondi blue to match. So there you go. That's a perfect match made in heaven right there. Keep this thing running. I think that's going to do it for this camera. We've totally beaten this thing to death. From totally dead to totally working, totally on today's hardware. Yeah, don't give me shit. I know this is Windows 7, but everything else still applies. It's all there. It all works. And of course, it still works in my world. So we have learned that old computers are never obsolete. Old cameras are never obsolete. And old ports are never obsolete either. So that's going to do it. We've proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that I'm batshit crazy. But I got it to work. That's the main thing. That's awesome. So like I said, that's probably the last you're going to be seeing of this camera, because you didn't want it. You didn't want to ever even need to have to use it. And it was a turd to start with, but hey, it does still work. It is sort of still compatible with some caveats. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, and by the way, while I said you won't see the camera anymore, maybe, and this is a big maybe, we might see this cable again, because I have something that I've been wanting to try that I don't think is going to work, but maybe I'll make a video on that. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, that's it. Thanks again, and take care.